The victim was killed by someone up on the wall. It may have been the referee who took advantage of the duelists while they were blindfolded. This seems plausible, but I must consider all options. What if there was another person here? The victim was killed by someone up on the wall. There may have been someone else here, a fourth person waiting for an opportunity to strike.
Sometimes I think beauty can blind. Did he see it all around him, do you?
The deceased was a member of the blind...
Never heard of such a thing.
Enough tomfoolery.
I told you that's his business, not yours. Two men duel. Doesn't ring a bell.
There is more to this case than meets the eye. The victim... Abandon your oversimplistic ideal.
Ah, that is wrong. The man's name was Eric von Staub.
At last. You may...
Did you hear Basilio?
Good day. Your ticket, please. Don't waste my time. This is not a ticket. This is not a ticket. Don't you understand what a ticket is?
I'd like to check the evidence from this case.
And who are you? His partner, then? Let me see. Ah.
All the keys of the mansion on one golden ring. It's a miracle this ruby hasn't tempted anyone. A heavily perfumed handkerchief with the initials KM in the corner. A handcrafted charm that contains hair and nail clippings. Not the time for privacy. Werner's personal sketchbook. An emergency kit for boredom. Her key to the altar room. That's not for bedtime reading. This ex libris belongs to Manchios' library. The book describes a ritual similar to the one performed in the altar room. Thank you, officer.
I'm busy. You've already used up your quota of me helping you.
Did you hear Basilio?
You'd better ask me a question I know how to answer. You'd better ask me a question I know how to answer. I don't think I can tell you anything about this. I've nothing to say about this. You'd better ask me a question I know how to answer. I don't think I can tell you anything about this. I don't think I can tell you anything about this. I've nothing to say about this. You'd better ask me a question I know how to answer.
Have you considered Mr.
The snitch? Have you...
as a could have testified?
Right. They brought him in, Mr. Holmes. Here's the key to inter...
Thank.
Did you hear Basilio? Did you hear Basilio?
Good day, Mr. Manchios. I am
Be quick and gentle.
If you cooperate in finding
That voice. That
only an undercover agent can... Although I'm capable of replacing...
sharp-tongued, I like it. May I presume this tongue...
Nothing's changed.
But it shouldn't take much time, correct?
I need to You are...
Well, Sherlock,
But still...
for people of my age,
So,
I wouldn't call myself that if I missed it. That's not something I know much about. I've no idea about that.
Do you recognize
She didn't ask me.
the things described in the book?
Do you really believe that my rituals are a stage?
I've read this letter from
Werner?
I'm sure there is some.
Call me super... That's not something I know much about.
Do you have any idea who
Of course.
a good...
What?
Not a...
What should I call him? You'd better ask someone else. You'd better ask someone else. You'd better ask someone else.
You bought an...
It was pure...
This
You've... With my...
Mr. Vogel,
I'm all yours, Sherlock.
I'd like to know who you usually...
Free minds who are able to leave reality. There is nothing that quite spices up life like these parts.
all true labourers. Why did you invite Mr.
He's a pretty fellow.
Mr.
He is...
What?
He was the...
Expensive?
His performance...
Possibly.
I wouldn't restrict... I can't wrap my head around such a tragedy at my party.
I'm Sherlock. Please, I'm just... You have both
I am skilled in giving pleasure.
cult deities?
Yes.
How did you escape?
Something happened. One night, we ran away that day. We met. Fabio and I started a new life here.
The bruises on your...
Some guests can't contain themselves.
Let's continue.
I don't know what to say. I've nothing to say. I don't know what to say. I've nothing to add. I've nothing to say. I've nothing to add. I've nothing to say. I've nothing to say. I don't know what to say. I've nothing to add.
This...
To learn more about the invisible, I cast a spell on him and it... What?
Or,
The universe...
if you...
I've nothing to say.
This...
I don't.
Do you practice occult...
For protection? For fortune? I have the gift,
Did you use your...
but I suppose I'm... I know I can handle the news.
Mr. Pinchetti, a pleasure to meet you.
I've already told him everything I know.
And
But I...
I doubt the house will fall without you, Mr. Is your greedy nature responsible? The cheap makeup, shabby and dyed clothes?
The means to practice my profession.
The parties overshadowed your state. In a decent household, you would be...
Yes, his attention was
But one detail stands out on...
Oh,
Did you know Fabio?
not personally. He was a freak. Mr. Manchios always had a role.
And Batista?
Don't tell Mr. Manchios.
I recognize the key from the altar room among these.
I'm not supposed to know anything about this. I can't follow you here. I'm not supposed to know anything about this. I don't think I can tell you anything about this. I can't follow you here. I'm not supposed to know anything about this.
So the police...
I cannot tell if it was truly in my...
Well, that is...
No clue.
Indeed.
I can't remember that either. But I... The air here is rather refreshing. I'd even recommend that some of my friends visit the place.
Continue our investigation while I look at the papers.
Did you hear Basilio?
Are you able to help me?
Go find your answers somewhere else. Did you hear?
In the police. Let's pretend to be cops, eh? We can just stand around and look confused.
I've read the letter about your will. A harsh method of ridiculing Santos.
Where did you get it?
He's a grown man who shouldn't sit on his uncle's neck.
And who is he?
He's a leech on my aging body.
I fail to see why you made him your major domo.
He needed to know his place, so I can't wrap my head around such a tragedy at my party.
I know I can handle the news.
Mr.
He's not only Mr. Manchio, he's...
Is it that bad?
For God's sake.
Why do you think your uncle...
Please let me out.
I don't know what to say. I've nothing to say.
Could Fa...
Oh,
What do you...
money.
Was Fa...
Not at all. Talk can be forgotten, and touching...
There is undeniable evidence that you were the...
What are you talking about?
Your protege wanted a fresh start, it seemed.
Me? Hurt my...
He did not consider himself as... Do you have any idea as to how the letter...
You were the detective. Perhaps he took it from Fab...
I know I can handle the news.
Please let me out.
I have reason to believe that the intended recipient of...
Well, that makes sense. Too bad I can't remember how I came.
Unfortunately, even with an answer, that may still not be...
I hope your attempt...
You...
Touche.
What a bunch of losers.
Are you done yet? Can I leave?
I'm busy. You've already used up your quota of me helping you.
Any progress with the case, Mr. Holmes?
I don't think I can tell you anything about this. I don't think I can tell you anything about this. Do you really think I'm that naive?
Very well. The letter, it was written to me...
Look here. We had a deal.
Well, fine, but you're...
Continue our investigation while I look for the papers.
This area is restricted.
The murder of Fabio did not have a ritual purpose, Mr. Manchios. It was staged by a man who wished to distract the investigation.
That might be true. That poor girl Matista wouldn't dare to kill the only man who cared for her. So, Santos.
Mr. Pinchetti snatched at the chance to solve his problems.
Ungrateful little scum. Will he be executed?
But what for? He informed the police as to the crime, that was all. He couldn't stage the ritual, but he found the body, I believe.
I can't believe it. Why did Werner do it?
Mr. Vogel, he had no reason, and he won't be a scapegoat as you plan. You put Fabio's letter in his pocket when he was intoxicated, didn't you?
You can't be serious.
We can very often deduce someone's life by their shoes or their fingernails. You are a meticulous person, but this murder was fairly traumatic and filthy. After you stabbed Fabio, you were covered in blood. You panicked and neglected to rinse the soap from under your fingernails. The devil is in the details, Mr. Manchios.
Nonsense. I missed it simply because of the busy schedule of the party.
Of course, a staged murder was certainly not planned. You're at the twilight of your life. You have no partner, you have no children. You had feelings, however, for one man. That was Fabio. You loved him. That is, you wished to own him with money and gifts. But he was also a free mind, was he not? He turned his back on you. Quite unjust. Love, so cruel and painful, and Fabio, with his words and deeds, made you feel the more wretched. So you killed him.
You must surely perceive that my sensitive nature wouldn't allow me to hurt anyone.
You staged the murder as a satanic ritual. It was easy for you, since you were the one who wrote the scenarios for the parties. It was your way of avoiding suspicion. A respectable man in his 60s,
Early 60s.
who hosts the cream of Cordona's society, cannot possibly be a murderer. But the guests who behave like animals in his mansion, of course, one of them could have killed Fabio.
I did oversee a few of the rituals, but I did not stage Fabio's death.
Fabio played with your feelings. That was painful to realize. You spent so much time and effort to be with Fabio, but he didn't respond in the way that you would have liked. You wanted to be loved, but Fabio shattered your dreams. In the smoking lounge, he teased and mocked you. He wanted you to suffer by offering himself to others. The deception was unbearable. You were passionate, and so you struck him. Once you understood your mistake, it was too late. You were afraid, so you staged the ritual. With such a story, you might be sentenced to a few years. It might clean your conscience, and soon the case will be forgotten.
No. No.
This is my decision. I'll talk to Constable Oswald to see what I can do.
I wish everything were different.
There's no fool like an old fool. Kurt Manchios did it. The evidence I obtained clearly shows that the quarrel was...
Showing pity towards your own kind, Holmes. Whatever.
All I'm saying is that prison won't take much away from...
Fine. A big name like that was... As for my part, not everything was in place. Perhaps some documents were transferred. The discarded document drawers where we put the lost papers or the badly labelled ones. Everything I've found is on the...
You're persistent.
Yeah, well, we had a deal after all. Your friend is free then. You can leave.
Good luck, Constable. Garden. There's a garden behind our manor. How could I forget? where it all happened, where it all went wrong.
Sherry, it looks like you've almost found...
Oh, you did it, Sherlock! The case is closed and all rewards belong to the winner. Bravo!
It is merely the triumph of the truth.
Is it? No compromises? No lies? You're happy with your decisions?
It was the best decision I could obtain. The truth must be told in the way it is most acceptable.
You're making progress, Sherlock. I was right to believe in you. By the way, did you get that precious information about your mother? Oh, not that you must.
Yes, I did.
Forgive my intrusion in such a personal matter. I simply worry I'm failing to be of much help to you.
Actually, you were. For some reason, all the archives on the case had disappeared. This was a rare opportunity to obtain the impossible.
Outrageous. Perhaps someone found the truth unpleasant. Society usually rejects those who speak with too much honesty, doesn't it?
A comfortable lie is often preferred to an uncomfortable truth. Still, I believe that the latter should prevail, and I cannot remain silent.
That's quixotism at its best. Your mere truth cannot defeat institutions, systems, and power. Etiquette, religion, marriage, they're all lies told to preserve connections, love, and sanity, and it's all corruptible.
Lies destroy human dignity. How could you make a free decision without any knowledge of the truth?
Are we really free to decide anything in this world, Sherlock?
Oh yes. It's a struggle, but yes, we can make our own decisions. That's what I fight for.
What an endless fight it is. Will you ever give yourself a break, Sherlock? You're a walking contradiction, Sherlock. You refuse to lie to others. I cannot look away, but perhaps I should take a few steps back. You're an accident waiting to happen.
Sherry, please listen to me. Sherry.
John, I always listen to you.
You don't have to do this. You don't have to go through. I don't know what is beyond this door, but I can feel it. Buzzing, angry, like a fly at the window.
I know. I can sense it too.
You locked away this memory for a reason. There is only pain here.
Pain. And truth.
You do not need to suffer either. There is so much more we can do on Cordona, so many others we can help. There is no coming back from this.
John, my animum, my brother, there is nothing more important in this moment than this truth. I know you fear for me, but my path was set long ago. I can no more step off it than I can ask the avalanche to roll back uphill.
Just... please be careful, Sherry. I love you.
Quite. Come on. We'll go together. Why didn't I remember we had such a big garden?
Maybe you forgot it for your own good. That's the descendant of a tree your father planted in London, correct?
Indeed, we planted the sprout here, and for a while it grew happily. Alas, it seems without us here to care for it, it didn't survive. Is that the raft we made together, John?
Looks more like a pile of rotten planks now.
That's from Mother's favourite tea set. What is it doing in here?
Come here, Sherry. Hurry!
These must help calm her down.
What are you thinking about? Is everything all right?
Ah yes, the statue of Merope. My mother was trying to restore it. Pity she never had the opportunity to finish. Don't go, Mother, wait! I remember this artifact from Mother's collection. Mother's work journal. I liked poring over the detailed pages and reading about my parents' collection.
We'll just borrow it for a while.
Did you hear that? Someone's coming. Let's take a peek. You call this progress? Charlotte, amateur. I'm not letting you anywhere near my mother again.
Any result is progress, even if it is.
Sherry, say something. Can you hear me? You're scaring me.
I'm waiting for you. Sherry?
Coming, Mother! This was for my mother, wasn't it? I remember how we came to the garden for a breath of fresh air.
Take me to my flowers, Sherry. They must already be in bloom.
As you wish, Mum. I bet you missed the fresh air, didn't you?
Terribly. The sun is far brighter than I remember. But I like it.
We can walk each day from now on, if you want.
That would be wonderful. Just look at them. The stars of the earth. Even the sky must be jealous of their beauty.
Indeed. Mother, would you like to go around the water?
That would be perfect. I always wanted such a nice pond in London. It looks so peaceful.
Mycroft knew you would like it.
We should put some fish in it, don't you think?
How about some carp?
That's a nice idea. Let's visit your father's tree. It grows so fast, just like you.
We could even build a tree house in it.
Yes, Sherry. Speaking of your father, could you call him out, please?
Mom! I'm sorry. He passed away. He's gone.
No, he's not.
I'm telling the truth. Did you forget again?
No! Don't you dare say such things! You are a liar like all the others!
Mother!
Don't call me that! You aren't fooling me!
No! Mum, it hurts!
My son would never lie!
Mum, stop!
Who are you? Reveal yourself!
Please, stop! It's me, Sherlock!
You are not my Sherry! Get me my stuff back or I'll throw you!
Sherlock. Sherlock. Can you hear me? Come on, wake up.
Get off me.
Sherry,
You knew, and more than that, you hid it from me.
you couldn't bear the truth, Sherlock, so I shouldered it for you. I took your pain, your horror.
I killed my own mother, John. It is unforgivable.
It was an accident, Sherlock. She was mad, abusive. You were a child, simply trying to help.
How could she? You were a lie, John. A fiction. A crutch.
No, I was a friend. Sherlock, please.
Sherlock?
What?
Are you okay?
I don't know.
I told you not to come, Sherlock. Where is he?
Who?
Your friend, John.
He's beside you.
Was all this worth it? Is he worth it?
Why is he here?
I think, in his own way, he was trying to protect me. A truth I couldn't bear. But now I must face it. There is only one thing to be done.
What are you talking about?
To expect adherence to the principles of truth and justice, but to fail to hold oneself likewise accountable, it would be hypocrisy. My mother died by my hand. I must turn myself into the authorities and face the consequences of my actions.
The consequences of your actions? You were a child. She did this to you, not you unto her. You are throwing your life away in an act of moralistic vanity. Think of all you could accomplish for our nation.
This is where we differ, Mycroft. To you, the ends justify the means. To me, the means have decided the end. The truth is the truth.
Fine, Sherlock. Walk yourself into the police station and pray those men you oft embarrassed hold no grudges. If you're lucky, they'll simply exile you. If not, I'll see you in 20 years.
Are you going to berate me too? Try and talk me out of it? As I told my brother, if I cannot demonstrate the character I chastise others for lacking...
Sherry, I think this is something you will have to do yourself.
Myself? How do you mean?
All I ever did, all I ever wanted, was to protect you from what happened. And now you tell me I was wrong to try, that it was ego or hypocrisy to show a young boy kindness. But it was just empathy, creativity, and love for one's self. So please, please, Sherlock, don't do it.
Why can none of you see it? The truth is the truth. A murder is a murder. Tell me, John, why?
Because you're breaking my heart. I know you've decided. I know. I just wish you hadn't.
I'm sorry, John. All these years we spent together, all the time I took for granted. You'll always be a part of me.
No, Sherry. That's the point. I don't think I will.
Why are you here?
Closure, I suppose. And to help a friend.
You and I are not friends. In a race between the thawing of the ice caps and our friendship, I would buy a book.
Ha! Is that right?
I can see it now. I know what you did.
What did I do?
You needled me. From the moment we met, you were searching for weakness. You pushed me to pursue the truth about my mother. You questioned everything I did, everything I believed, to break me. To blur truth and fiction, reality, morality. A saboteur in silk. Was it vengeance, Werner? Or do you prefer Klaus?
Excuse me?
You are Klaus Richter, Otto's younger brother. Do you hold me responsible for his end?
Ha! There was no love lost between me and my brother. I am sure you can relate. Otto was merely the gravity that pulled me into your orbit. Or you into mine. Once I met you, I could not keep away.
Why? What reason do you have for all this?
To help you.
You're lying.
To show you that you were wrong.
More lies. I know you now, Werner. Try again.
To see what had happened. Or is that yet another untruth? Does it matter? Take your pick. Who cares? You're my masterpiece. I turned Sisyphus into Ozymandias. You could not see the futility of your quest until I helped you to let go of the rock. And now, nothing beside remains.
I remain. Despite you and to spite you.
It is a matter of will and power now. Will you overcome this, or shall you decay? Oh, on that note, I brought you something.
I want nothing more from you.
When one wants for nothing, Sherlock, the best thing to get them is something personal. So, here you are. Now, please excuse me, but the gallery calls. I'm already conceiving my next project. You really are beautiful.
I was prepared to take responsibility for my actions, but again my brother conspired against me. A little diplomatic pressure and the trial was dismissed. Instead, I was exiled from Cordona. Freedom never tasted so bitter. Another perversion of justice at Mycroft's hand. With no means, no home, and no purpose, I returned to London. I enrolled at Cambridge University, but few lectures held my interest. I prefer to spend time alone at the hospital laboratory, pursuing truths in chemical form. No one there questions my choices. I have begun to attract a desperate clientele, men that skulk after me, pleading for answers to their simple mysteries. At first, the distraction was unwelcome. Now, I find myself craving it, lest my mind drift back to the island, to Mother, to John. What was her life worth? How many adulterers and petty thieves will it take to make it right? Can anything? I found it! I found it! I found it!
And what is that?
How far, bruises may be produced after death? How are you? You have been in Afghanistan, I perceive.
How on earth did you know that?
Never mind. The question now is about bruising. No doubt you see the significance of this discovery of mine.
It is interesting, no doubt, but practically...
Why, it is the most practical medico-legal discovery for years. Had we these data sooner, hundreds of men would have paid the penalty for their crimes. Cases oft hinge upon how a man died. Now, we can know which wounds he suffered alive, which occurred post-mortem, and what instrument was responsible. And ergo, one will soon be able to calculate with utmost precision when and where death occurred, sparing the innocent and damning the guilty.
Well, then you are to be congratulated.
Indeed. But, you came here on business.
Correct again. I am looking for someone with whom to take diggings, and heard you were complaining that you could get no one to go halves with you.
I have my eye on a suite in Baker Street, which would suit us down to the ground. You don't mind the smell of strong tobacco, I hope?
I smoke ships myself.
That's good enough. I get in the dumps at times, and don't open my mouth for days on end. Just let me alone, and I'll soon be right. What have you to confess now? It's best for two fellows to know what bruises each other carries before they begin to live together. My last companion and I...
Well, I object to rows because my nerves are shaken, and I get up at all sorts of ungodly hours, and I am extremely lazy. I have another set of vices when I'm well, but those are the principal ones at present.
Do you include violin playing in your category for rout?
It depends on the player. A well-played violin is a treat for the gods. A badly played one.
Oh, no, that's all right. I think we may consider the thing as settled. Oh, forgive my manners. My attention wavers. Sherlock Holmes.
Dr. John Watson.
John.